fine, thank you.
We're waiting your presentation.
Yes, it should be here shortly. Ahead. Thank you. So I hope you all see my screen now.
Yeah, fine.
So I'm Agnes Savenstedt, and I'm joining you from Stockholm, Sweden. So we just had our first snow today. And which puts me in a pretty childish mode, but I'm going to try to come back to my management consultancy persona here today to give you a pretty slide heavy, numbers heavy presentation on the learnings from Innovation 360 Group. And I'm one of the co-founders of Innovation 360. We started the company in 2015 in the spurge of optimism when we were looking at what exponential technology could actually do, coming from a kind of pessimistic standpoint, being worried about increasing poverty, increasing polarization in society, and lack of resources for a lot of people. We saw that the exponential technologies could really help us solve some of humanity's grand challenges. And that's why we founded Innovation 360 Group, to sort of like leverage on those technologies. Because none of us co-founders of Innovation 360 are the brainiacs or the inventors that are kind of come up with the little thingy that everybody can have in their pocket to desalinate seawater so that everybody has access to fresh water, or invent the battery that can make us save all the energy that the sun sends down to Earth every day. But what we are experts in is to help those innovators turn their innovations into their inventions into innovation. So actually making and implement their idea and make them profitable, and to create proper change. And therefore, since our mission is to help others improve their innovation capability, everything we do is available for free online, because that superstar might not be somebody that can afford to use us as consultants. And then everything we do can be accessed for free online. So I'm going to talk to you about assessing innovation capability, because that's how we know what kind of help a certain organization needs. And that assessment is available for free online also. And so why would we even want to innovate then? A lot of growth comes from innovation, of course, and the customers are much more interested in buying from companies that they perceive as innovative. But it's really, really hard. And 84% of executives in the McKinsey Global Innovation Study say that innovation is actually critical for the growth of their company. But only 6% of the same group say that they are satisfied with the outcomes of their innovation efforts. So it's a great, huge gap. It's critical, but they're not happy with the success of it. So how do you become successful? Well, from our research, we found that there are 3 things that you need in place, among others, of course, but simplified. You need something that we call a coherent innovation strategy. And I'm going to talk to you about the coherent innovation strategy shortly. And the second thing you need is innovation strategy that's based on the right capabilities of that you've chosen, that you actually have, and an innovation management system that can execute on the innovation strategy. And what is a coherent innovation strategy, except for an extremely management consultancy word? It's when you actually align your organization's capabilities to your strategy and to make sure that anything that you do within your innovation is aligned with your corporate strategy, because that's how you have both higher growth and higher profits. In a study by PricewaterhouseCoopers and Booz & Company, a company, they would call the companies coherent. If they had identified their strongest capabilities, they performed those capabilities well, and they aligned their innovation strategy with their overall corporate strategy. And those companies that were found coherent actually enjoyed 22% higher margins than their less coherent industry peers. And as you can see below, they also, the difference wasn't that big between, it wasn't spending that helped them. So it was being an innovator and being coherent is much more successful in when you have to choose where you put your innovation efforts rather than just spend a lot of money. Therefore, the first thing you want to do when you start considering what kind of innovation you should be starting with as an organization, to consider what is coherent with our capabilities and our strategy. And then you can spend much less money than if you start right away without knowing that. And how do you put together a coherent innovation strategy then? Well, I'm going to walk you through this little graph about finding your opportunity space. Because the first thing you do is, of course, is look for, do an external outlook. Because when you want to do something, when you want to grow, then it's much easier to find new customers and increase what you're doing with customers and clients if something is changing. Because if you're just doing the same old thing, then it's a lot of commoditization within that sector. And whenever change happens, it's much easier to change the habits of the organizations. It's much easier to come in with a new innovation. And so make sure that you know what's happening in the outside world and how that will affect your business. And this you can, of course, do by pest-led analysis, doing scenarios based on the pest-led analysis to make sure that you have some kind of idea of several possible futures that you can start tracking to see which one seems most likely to happen, or to understand which direction you're heading in. And when you know what's happening in the outside world, then you need to consider what's my strengths and weaknesses. What's our strengths and weaknesses in our organization? And we do that as an assessment of innovation capability. And we have a framework that's, the Innovation 360 framework that our group CEO, Magnus Penker, developed when he was doing his MBA. And it's basically a run through of 100 years of management literature, published management literature, to see what all the companies in the world that keep succeeding in redesigning themselves, what do they do? And we basically look at why are they innovating and what are they innovating. So that's the aspiration for innovation. And then we look at their ability, how do they innovate? And we have a survey of 96 questions that we ask to understand the organization and how they, to map them to the framework, basically. And when you found your strengths and weaknesses within from the assessment, or if you do it some other way, then you have to start deciding on how will I use that. And you can either say that, okay, let's do, I'm going to start from the bottom here. So it can either be a resource-based view, where you say that, okay, this is what we're good at. And then basically say that, okay, we're going to do what we're already good at. Or you can have a best-in-class approach, where you benchmark yourself to the best of the best in that field where you want to enter. And you look at what capabilities do they have and how can I, and you start building those capabilities. Or you can do a best fit, which is sort of like a combination where we look at what capabilities do we already have and how can we sort of like tweak our strategy based on the capabilities we have, and also make sure that we remove some essential blockers from based on capabilities we don't have and build those. So then you know what's happening in the outside world, and you know change is going to happen, and you know what you as an organization is good at and what you can build. Then you look at, okay, so, but what's the purpose, vision, and mission of our organization? What do we want to do? What is it that we actually want to achieve? Like Innovation 360, we want to make sure that our BHAG is actually that by 2030, you're going to be able to trace back one of the Agenda 2030 goals and see how that has been met and how we helped in that. So that's what we're trying to achieve. But you look at your organization and what you want to achieve. And then you look at your corporate strategy and basically decide on how do you want to distinguish yourself from the competition. And also in the strategic direction, you know the opportunity space, and you know what kind of, you know what you're good at, and you look at the what it is that you do as an organization, and where the corporate strategy says that you're supposed to go. And then you set some goals for innovation. And this is basically when you decide, okay, what is it I want to accomplish with my innovation? We know what our corporate strategy says what you do, but what part of that strategy should be performed with our innovation efforts? And the first exercise we suggest that you do there is to calculate your growth gap. In your growth gap, it's basically the lower curve, the straight line, is if you say that, okay, if we keep doing what we're doing today and we do it better and better every day, where is that going to take us in 5 years? And then you consider your aspirations. Where do we want to be in 5 years? And you check, and that would be sort of like the upper curve. And that is your growth gap. So that's where that's what you have to fill with your innovation efforts. So your innovation goals should make sure that that growth gap is closed. And if it's a really big difference between the lower curve and the upper curve, then you have to go radical. And if it's a small one, you can probably keep doing incremental innovation. But having done that, the external outlook, the assessment of your capabilities and what you want to be as a company, and setting those goals, then you have basically a very long to-do list with change initiatives from how you want to change your organization, and also from the you have goals that you want to achieve, and you know how the world is going to change. You have a long list of strategic initiatives, and those strategic initiatives tell you how you're going to reach your innovation goals, and that is a coherent innovation strategy. And as a final point, then of course you have to get that, make something happen. And you put all your strategic initiatives in an innovation portfolio, and you establish an innovation management system to implement all those initiatives. And how you design that innovation management system, that is your innovation operational model. And that's when you look at how will I leverage the ecosystem, where will I use innovation centers, and what will we do centralized or integrated within the organization. And by establishing that, you have closed the gap between being the 84% who think innovation is important and the 6% who are satisfied with their innovation opportunities, or what they actually do with their efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Agnes, and you are on time. We have, I think, two minutes remaining. I'll take this advantage to ask you about one question. Normally, inventions comes from the academia, and not necessarily from the academia, but sometimes we have it from the academia, and a single person is doing some sort of researches and come with this idea. Then this idea should be harvested into an innovative enterprise. I think your presentation is mainly about having an existing enterprise, doing some innovation and converted it to a working, let us say, and beneficial example. What do you think about when there is a single person trying to do something? Have you come with, or let us say, have you faced such situations where you are dealing with persons, not organizations? And what was the initiative, or let us say the steps taken to take this invention into an innovation?
Like when they in the discussion after the first session, the last roundtable session, they talked about how you could implement a palm tree rather than try to sowing the seed, and that's something that is usually a good thing. So trying to find some kind of platform where we can incubate that one person and make sure that person finds an ecosystem. And I'm giving a keynote tomorrow, and that's going to be about how we built that ecosystem for a media company in Sweden.
Okay.
And what you, being on the other side, what it is you should be, what kind of platform you should try to give to that person who has the brilliant idea to help the person grow.
Thank you very much. I'll be looking forward to listen to your tomorrow, let us say, speech. Thank you very much, Agnes.
Thank you.
Now we're having Sheikh Al-Akhzami from Sultan Qaboos University. So please, Sheikh.
Assalamu alaikum. I will share my screen.
Yeah.
Hope everything is okay now. You can see it?
Yeah,